What do you reckon? Yeah. All right, so I know who uses Fotrel, and unfortunately I didn't realise it was going to be like this, so we're going to have to listen to people walk around. But you can all hear me, can't you? Yeah. That's cool. All right, good. So basically what I want to do is show you how Fotrel works and how I use it, and how it's not only something that you can sell photos with, but it's something you can actually market your business with as well to bring in more work. Who's interested in bringing in more work? Cool. We all are, aren't we? Beautiful. All right. So you all know that this is a Fotrel website, and there's a free seminar on today, which is what we're at now. So as I go through things, what I really enjoy is when people ask questions. So just stop me in the flow, because I find it really easy to answer questions, and it leads me onto other topics. Because for the Fotrel system I find is really easy, and when it first came out, when Fotrel first came out, I was one of the first people to get on board with it, because I liked how simple it was and how easy it was, and I know that that's why you've probably all joined up to it as well. The first thing I'd like to actually announce, if you haven't read your emails of recent, is there's been a big price change with the Fotrel system. You know, we have a $9 a month, there's a $9 a month service fee, and that covers all the storage and that sort of thing. And that's the minimum cost. If you don't sell anything, you don't pay for anything. In the past, the pricing system was, if you sold over $100, you paid another $75 in a fee, which made your total spend for the month would have been $85 for the month, right? Now, it's actually changed that it's going to stay with the $9, but it's going to be a 10% fee on your sales. So when you look at all the figures, and Pavel's shown me all the figures, he hasn't shown me which photographers, because I don't need to know what you guys are selling, but he just showed me all the figures that are sold every month, and I know what we sell as well. And I know that I would be better off in my business having 10%. And when I looked at everyone's figures that is actually involved in Fotrel, and there are a lot of photographers, and most photographers on average would sell between $200 and $800 a month is a guesstimate. With the occasional, sometimes they do $1,100 or $1,200 or something like that. But when you average it out over a year, it actually will be a cost savings in using the product. So it'll be a lot better for everyone, I think, and it'll get everyone involved. So is there any questions regarding that at all? No? It's pretty straightforward, isn't it? It's nice and easy. Because if you're only doing, at the moment, if you do $300 in sales, you're paying $85 a month. In the new system, you'll be paying $9 and $39. So it's much better for everyone to work with. So yeah, just thought I'd announce that because it is something new. For people that are actually on the old system of pricing, if you really want to stay with the old pricing, Pavel has actually said that he'll continue it for 6 more months if you're really wanting to stay with the program. But I said no, everyone will want to change straight away. It's a lot cheaper. All right, now the back end is where all the important stuff happens. What I should be doing is recording this now, shouldn't I? This is where, yeah, as you can see, this is my back end, right? So I don't mind showing it. It's going to show you where the orders are and what happens and that sort of thing. We tend to put every single wedding on to the system, and we do lots of portraits as well, which we put into the system as well. And I'm going to go through and explain how that all works. And there's a more section, which has events and gift registry. Now this is new. Who knows about the gift registry and the events and all that? Cool. I'm pretty excited about it myself because Occasionally when you shoot an event, it's really hard because I've actually put those photos under portraits and have to direct people, but now you can have your own event section, which is really good. All right, but first things first, what I might do is start with weddings and work my way through each section to show everyone how it works. So I think that's probably the best way to do it. If you know half of what I'm going to show you, don't worry about it. It's pretty straightforward. It's just for, I found that there's a lot of people out there that actually have signed up but aren't using the program. You know, so they've signed up, they paid $9 a month and they're not using it at all. So this is a great example just to show you how to use it. So first thing we'll do is I've got an example of setting up a new job. So I should really record this, shouldn't I, Pavel? So, all right, start recording. Hey, this is pretty cool, hey? All right, so what we're going to do is, what we do when we set up an account, you go into your back end here and we go to the add a new wedding, which is pretty straightforward. You click on the new wedding thing there. What I tend to do is put in the bride and groom's name, now, like Mary and John, and then we put in their date, the 12th of the 12th, say the 12th, which is coming up this year. The reason I do that is because they're for future weddings coming up. I always like to put that up online straight away as soon as I get a booking, for the simple reason that I want their family and friends to come to that site and register with us. Now, who uses the registration for online registrations? It's really a great way to gather names and numbers and details of everything that we need to do. Hello. So I'll run through and explain how that works as well. We've only just started, Zarula, so you're cool. And then I put the event date in here, which is obviously, I'm going to go through to find the right event date, which is that date there. And I set up a password for John and Mary. Usually, whichever system that you use, I tend to set up a password with some numbers and a name, and then I create that. Now, once that's created, there's a registration section. This is prior to the wedding happening. So the idea is to let the couples know that they can have their family and friends come to the site before the wedding and register online that they're interested in receiving an email from us once the photos go up online with the password and the link. Right? So the idea behind that is to make sure that you've got a lot of people coming to the site getting interested in it. There's a couple of benefits in that. What we do once they've registered with us, then they have a link back to our website, which offers them a portrait session and a certain spend value for being a friend of the couple who are getting married. Now, you look at it like this. You shoot 50 weddings a year and you get one person from all the wedding guests that say, oh, we want to take up that offer and do a portrait session. There are 50 new portrait shoots that you've got for the year. Right? And that's a cost in marketing of absolutely zero, just for them attending a friend's wedding. So we find that that's a really useful way of getting more leads for our portrait business. So all the businesses tie into one. It's a really good way of doing it. So make sure when you set that up, do that. The other thing we've done also is had little business cards made up. And on the business cards it says, you know, for photos of today's wedding, you know, please go to Passionate Photography, and show them the link and register to see your friends' photos. And also receive a bonus gift from us if you register online, or something like that on the back of the card. You can decide to do whatever you want to do, and we leave that at the receptions on the tables. We get permission from the couple first, because the couple will say, oh, it saves us contacting all our family and friends to where to have a look at the photos. And they actually say yes, they encourage us to put them on the tables, but we don't flood the tables and make them look messy. Just put one on all the place settings of the females. Because the guys don't want to take the card home and look it up. So always get the girls, they always love it because they get that and go, oh, that's really nice. They put it away before they start eating and having some drinks, and they remember to do it the next morning to register online. So whilst the couple are away on the honeymoon, you get a lot of people registering online as well, which is really useful. Not only once they book their wedding, which might be 8 months before the wedding day, you get registrations then, but you get then registrations before the honeymoon comes up. So I find that's a really useful thing to do. So take advantage of that, and I'm sure you could come up with other marketing ideas as well with those names as well. We find it useful. All right.
Sorry,
yep.
Registration onto their family and friends that we would pre-order it, so before receptions and everything when they've booked.
Yep.
We then create this.
Yes. Once they book the wedding, I create this. And then I send an email to the couple saying, look, we've created this for your family and friends to register. And what their family and friends would see would be I'll show you exactly what they will see on our website. This is another thing. It's a good way of getting people coming to the website as well before the wedding, so then they know what they do.
Sorry, so the family and friends are directed by the couple to go to your website.
Correct.
And then follow the appropriate links to
Yep.
registration.
We have a link to See My Photos, which takes us into the Fotrel. And who did I just set up then? Was it Mary?
Mary and John.
Yep, Mary and John. You can see we've got a few weddings coming up. Mary and John, okay. So and they click on that. We send them also this link here as a direct link, so you can copy and cut that and put that in an email. Then the couple will come in and say, my name's Peter Smith. I want to see that, yeah, Peter, if I know how to spell it correctly. Peter Smith, and you know my email address is 123A86@me.com, whatever, and then they put in a phone number 0418 331162, which is me. Whoops. Oh, get out of that. And then they usually put in the mobile number for both numbers. It just gives us a contact point, if there's something goes wrong with their email and that sort of thing. And then they register under John and Mary's registration. There you go. Thank you for registering. You'll receive an email, blah, blah, blah. Now, from this point here, then we can send out an email to them and say, thank you for registering. Part of what we do is our business. We do portraits, and we'd like to offer you a portrait session at blah, blah, blah. Like I said, if 1 out of 100 guests take up that offer, you've got yourself 50 or 100 extra portraits, depending on how many weddings you shoot a year. So that's what happens from that point of view. Now, the other thing is that we also, on that little card, has the same information. Go to See My Passionate Photography, go to See My Photos, and then look for the couple's name, and then register as well. So then the registrations start filling up. So that's how that phase works there. Move that out of the way. All right. So does that make sense a little bit for everyone? Beautiful. All right. So that's the pre-wedding. There's not much else you can do pre-wedding, but it's a really good way of doing things. Now, after the wedding, for John and Mary, it's pretty easy to do. If you want to, you come into your back end again. You can also show your password up here, which gives you an example of if you've forgotten what the password was that you set up months ago. You can actually go in and edit any of that information. So what we do after the wedding is we go in and, as we're about to upload, we change it to their surname. So then they can find the surname. because their friends and family will know, oh, it's, you know, it's Mary and John's wedding and it's on the 12th of December, so it's easy for them to reference it and find it. Now we go in and then we know that we've actually entered the photos. It's just our process. You can decide whichever way you want to go about it, but I like to be able to know that, oh, we haven't entered the weddings yet because it's still got the date there. It just helps for our workflow. And then you can go and save that information. All right. Now, the first thing to do is go in and load your photos. Pretty simple. Click on Photos, go to Upload Photos, and your little Fotrel client drop-in box turns up. Now, if you're using this for the first time, which I will go backwards and show you how to set that up in a minute, you do click on this area here and it installs this little box for you on in your computer. It's very simple to set up. Then the next thing you'll have to do is go and find some photos, which I've got a folder coming here. I've got a folder of photos which you just drag and drop into the box. Actually, to make it easier for you to see, simple as that. You got your photos, you drag a whole folder of photos, whether it's 400 photos, 500 photos, 1,000 photos, whether it's 20, I'm doing 20 for this example for you. And it just gives you an example, shows you how the photos work. So we go to the upload. All right. And they've all been loaded in because there's only 20 of them. Yep. All right. So once the photos are loaded in, I shouldn't have pressed that, should I, Pavel? All right. All the photos would have been uploaded. We go into the photo section, and there are all the photos, already preloaded. The next thing we do is we go to grouping the photos. So we click on grouping the photos. Now for a wedding, we like to go through and put the brides in the bride section, you know, the grooms in the groom section, you know, the ceremony in the ceremony section, family photos in the family section, location shots in the location section, and reception in the reception section. Okay? Now, with your family and friends, if they're looking for a photo again, they go, oh, it was at the groom's house. They know to go to the groom section. It's quicker than going through 400 photos. So once that's done, you say done, and it gives you an example of what's been put in. So the groom's photos are in there, brides are in there, ceremonies in there, location and reception. So that's done. Nice and simple. Now that's ready, that's already up online now, so once they put the password in, they can actually go to have a look at these photos. So we're going to go through and do that. Makes it easy to go to Mary. Should have used yours, Pavel, because I've got too many. Actually, I've got to, yeah. We've got to log in. I had to refresh my screen, that's why I was still showing the date up there. All right, does anyone know what their password was? Because I just randomly made something up, which is now cut and copied and paste. So now I can put that in and hit enter, and this is what the client sees. The client sees this little list up here, and it can click. They can click on the bride's location shoot, the ceremony photos, the location photos. What I always do is in Lightroom or in Photoshop, I always put our web address on the photos. You'd be surprised how many times I see a photo of ours as their Facebook profile after the wedding. And guess what? It's got our name on it. It's bizarre. It happens all the time, and it's really an interesting process to see how that works. And what that is doing is advertising your business to their friends and family. So that's really a straightforward process. Does anyone have any questions in how to load? Yeah.
No, not so much how to load.
Yep.
Can you change the groups? You know, you load it all into groups. Can you change the names and put in more groups?
There's no custom field for that, but that is a suggestion that if that's something you want and it's useful for everyone using the program, it could be something that we could look at doing. Hey, Pava? So email, if there's anything that you want this program to do, because it's been on the market for what, 3 years now? 2.5 years or something? 3 years? 4 years? I keep forgetting how long I've been using it for. Anyway, it's been on the market for a while, and every time I want something done to it, I ring Pavel and say, hey, I want to be able to do this. And he says, oh, that works. Yes, I can do it. It's pretty easy to do. And it benefits all the other photographers using it as well. So it's really handy. That's how this has come about. So when couples want to order something, obviously this isn't the back end of the program. Let's go to the front end one. They can click on that photo and add it to the order. Okay, the photo's been ordered. Simple as that. If they want it in black and white, they can actually do it like that in black. Have a look at what it looks like in black and white and order it in black and white. So you can view the order. Let's go up and view the order. And this is what it's got here. The photo's in black and white. It gives them a thumbnail, and you can click on whatever number you want and sell the photo to them for the client. One thing we do also is we charge $15 for postage and handling. Reason why we do that is our lab that we use charges $15 for postage and handling. But what our lab does is we can send the actual file to the lab, they'll print it, package it, and send it directly to the client. New lab. Yep. And as long as, because in the new lab ordering system, it actually allows us to put in the address we would like it sent to, and they don't actually put in the invoice or anything. So the client receives the photo. I'm comfortable and confident with the quality of photos that we put up online as a proof that it's a nice clean image for the client.
So you don't need to do any work. So basically all your images are fine images ready to print?
Basically, for client orders, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. They're Lightroom to a point where they're really clean.
Photoshop them as such?
We do occasionally, yeah. So it depends on the image, and it depends on if it's a nice big close-up of the face and there's pimples, of course, yeah. If it's one where they're on a hill in the distance and you can see a black dress, a black groom and a white dress, and you can't see their faces and it's a panel, you don't, yeah. So horses for courses, but I don't have to, I'm not at the point in life where I have to get that print back and check it and go, oh, it's really, you know, I want it to be automated because we are charging a lot less for the photos as we would normally charge. At these prices, that's what I charge, by the way, for reprints.
That was one of the questions I asked Pavel before, because I looked at a few options. Is there any plans to completely automate that so that will, because I use New Lab as well, so that order can go directly into New Lab's system?
Yes, I have actually spoken to New Lab about that. Yeah, that is something we can do. The only thing is we will tie ourselves up to one lab. There are a lot of people that want to use other labs. So that's something with the software that we, you know, and the other labs don't have that automation set up. So it's something that we would have to look at. And that's why I do it this way, because New Lab has that system set up in place. Yeah, where all I have to do is just grab the file, put it on their system, put in the address of where it needs to go.
Yeah, but I was thinking like so if you're using it for some event photography,
yes,
that there could be a lot of images and you really don't want, for $20 you don't really want to spend any time on it.
Correct.
Just one image.
Correct.
So I think that'd be something I would really like to.
All right. That is something that I know Pavel's taking a lot of notes here, because that is something that I suggested for event photography and also for the wedding side of it.
Yeah, if it's, I mean, I don't mind if somebody's ordered 12.
Yep.
Then that's one thing, and you can then check whether you want to make adjustments, but if it's just one image.
Yeah.
That's $20.
I agree totally. So I can see Pavel's making a lot of notes there. So, yeah, it's a matter of making sure the labs will work in with us. I know that New Lab said they would, so it's a process. It's a matter of going through and following that process through. Alrighty. So, so is everyone clear on the ordering of it? What happens once the order's been placed, from the client's point of view, is, let's go through and continue. Oops. I've got an order 8 by 12. And we continue. See, the prices that I charge for these reprints aren't anywhere near what I would normally charge. This is just extra work on this that I get. And it'd be nice to make an extra $2,000 or $3,000 a month just from passive income coming in. So you don't need to really charge, well, you can charge what you want, but I'm just saying that I like to be able to get 400, 500, 600, sometimes 1,000 out of clients, extra orders. It really works out well. It takes you to this page here, which is very simple for people to fill out. They fill that out. That goes next. It goes to a payment page. And then once the payment has been processed and the credit card's gone through, what I've done is I've actually set this system up so that the payment goes directly into my bank account. All right? So we have that option of doing that rather than coming through. If you don't have that facility set up with your bank, you will receive an email where you have to decrypt the actual credit card number and enter it into your machine that you normally use. I like to automate things because there's a process that you can forget to put the credit card through because you're busy, the phone's ringing, and those sort of things. Pavel's set up PayPal now. We have PayPal working on it as well, so that's another way of getting paid. So that will go directly into your account. And also you can do direct deposit, there's send checks, you can tick all these options, which I'll show you in a minute. So me, because I'm with Westpac, they've got a product called Payway, and I know all the banks have similar products. And I just find it so convenient. I know the money's gone into my account. The client receives an email with a receipt from us, from the bank, to say it's been paid. I receive a receipt from the bank saying the money's gone in. So it's all done. So then all we do is receive an email with the order. Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it?
Sitting here thinking, juggling between Bella.
Yeah.
You know, we call everything in the office now that Bella's
Yeah.
back to what I don't get done.
Yeah.
It's just...
Well, as you know, I'm pretty busy. I shoot about 80, 90 weddings a year myself, and I've got 4 kids, 4 dogs, 2 birds and a rabbit. I'm marinating from the inside. And also on the national board of the ARPP and doing all my things, I don't have time to sit there and play with paperwork and enter stuff in. I like to streamline and make things really efficient. And this is why I use this product, because I find it really easy to use. And I don't have to sit there and become a rocket scientist and try and relearn all these things and go, oh, do I do this, do I do that, and how does that work? You've got to be a programmer sometimes to use some of the programs. That's why I like it, how basic this one is. Anyway, I can't go through it. I'm not going to show you how to fill in a form. Everyone's filled in and paid for something online before, haven't they? Excellent. So that's what the client sees from that point of view. But the other thing is, one thing, for the people that aren't involved with Fotrel at the moment, we go and copy your website. So you don't even have to set it up yourself. So once you register online to join the Fotrel online shopping cart system, Pavel goes to your website, copies your heading and all the look of your website, and makes it look identical to the Fotrel part of it. Yes?
So even if, because I've designed my own website.
Correct. Yeah, so then you don't have to go in and try and play around with the back end of knowing about web design.
It's extremely fast to join it.
Generally it happens within a few days of joining up. It's pretty a quick process. And as you can see at the top of mine, he's just copied and the exact same links and everything that I have on my website and all my little things down the bottom. So it's identical to how my website looks, right? So if you're going into the see my photo section, you can see that it looks exactly like my website. You know, I don't know of any other product in an online shopping thing where they go and do the work to set up the website for you. You have to go in, and usually the templates they have don't actually match your website exactly. So that's just a little benefit that the system has. All right, so that's the wedding side of things from that point of view. Going back into the back end, however, if someone does order a product, you've got all the file names here and you've got the numbering system. One thing that some people do is when they actually do a phone order over the phone with you, they tell you this number here, oh, we want photo number 5, right? I say, oh, look, you know, we really get mixed up with numbers and all that sort of thing. Just go and enter it all in online because it sends us all this information. So sometimes it gets confusing for you, for people, from that point of view. All right, so that's how the wedding section works from the back end of things. Portraits, exactly the same. You just go through and you set up a new portrait. You go in and put the name of the client, the date, whatever events you want. I'm not going to go through and bore you again because you've seen what I've just done with the wedding side of it. It's identical for that. When you go in and do events as well, it'll be the same for events too. So we can go into the events section and we can add a new event. As I said, this is new. I actually haven't even gone in and had a look at this, so I was hoping that worked. And it does, and which is really good because occasionally we get asked by a local kindergarten, come and shoot all the kids. You know, to go back and print off photos, to stand there and sit there and wait for the parents to come, or to print them all off and let them take them home so they can scan them, take photos and email them and Facebook them. It's, you know, I find that this is the best way of doing it, and I'm glad that you've set up the system. So, for more. Now, gift registry. How many people would, from a wedding point of view, or even a portrait point of view or an event point of view, would like to sell more pages or more photos to people? A gift registry is a great thing to go and set up for the clients. What you do, and it's pretty simple. A couple comes in and books a wedding with you, for instance, and they say, oh, we really would love to get your top package, but we can't afford it. And I say, well, how about we set up a gift registry for you? Have your family and friends, as they come to the website to register to have a look at the photos, they could actually put money as a gift towards your wedding album, or extra pages in your album, or paying off your package. That's a great way. So how the gift registry works is this. You can go in and you can just go and set up names. Exactly the same process at a gift registry. Right? Bride and groom's name. Mary. Oh. And John. 12th of the 12th of the 12th. Create a gift registry. All right, they're there. Alrighty, now, when the client comes to your gift registry, I've just got to remember my, it's gift, sorry? Gift registry. All right, so that's the link that you send people. So when they come through, they can come through, a friend of John and Mary's can click on John and Mary's link there and say, okay, how much do we want to put towards there? Or if they wanted to put $2.37, right, they can put $2.37 in. So it's a really nice and easy way of doing things. Some couples come in and say, oh, we want to pay $400 towards their thing. It goes through, gives you all the information. They can go through, pay by credit card over the phone. and then it comes in. You receive the information as that, so you can put towards their album. You can have a nice little gift certificate sent towards the couple who are sent it. Sometimes people want to be able to say, oh yeah, I paid for your wedding album or part of your wedding album, and put it in an envelope with a card at the wedding. So you can print off a nice little certificate from your business saying $400 has been paid, and that's for the couple to give to the couple. It's a nice way of doing it.
Payment of that is done direct to you, or you have the same thing PayPal?
It goes straight into PayPal for me.
The bank notifies you?
Yep, and also the couple. That's why I did it, because in the past, you know, the couple would put this in and, you know, we would get the information. I wanted to make sure it was streamlined for everyone. And I find coming from an official site like Westpac site or ANZ or something like that, they've got a proper bank receipt, and it's nice and handy. Also, if you do it through PayPal, it's the same sort of thing. I've only got it set up here in my business for 2 forms of credit card or over the phone. Some people don't want it. There are a few people in the world that don't like putting the credit card into the computer, so they've got the option of ringing us and giving the credit card over the phone. So yeah, that's pretty helpful there. So who's going to be using the gift registry from now on? It's pretty handy, isn't it?
So then initially they get 2 emails then, one for just the
Yep.
registration and another one just for the gift registration.
Yeah. Look, how you do it is up to you. You can send one email to the couple that have booked the wedding and saying, look, as we discussed in our booking process, that here's the information for your family and friends to come and register online to receive the link and the password after your photos are uploaded. And also, here's the link to the gift registry section of your email. How you do it is up to you. You know, most photographers are pretty clever and they know what they would like to do. And yeah, I just find emails really easy. The couple can pass the link on to people. It's pretty straightforward.
People advertising it, the couple of people in that gift registry.
Yeah.
When they send out their wedding invites, they always slip in a little card about the gift registry,
Yep.
either advice or whatever.
Yep.
They could easily just include yours and say,
Yep.
obviously passionate or whatever, so there's another link for promoting you.
Exactly. Also, you could even print up your own little gift registry cards to give to the couples that are interested in doing it. Couples that are really interested, you might print up something really classy with gold in a gold sort of guild sort of look or something like that. Yeah, so that's what happens from that point of view there. I reckon that's a win on that one. All right. So we're flying through things at the moment, aren't we? Like I said, it is a pretty simple process.